Hi guys, today we wanted to do a light topic. Can we just talk about the movie Friday? And one thing, just look at the women, the main characters in the show. Some were main and some were side. I left out the really minor ones. But what I like about the movie Friday, it was made in 1995. I actually watched it a year later in 96 and I found that it was hilarious. And years later, I still remember the movie. The male characters were pretty fascinating. Smokey, the loser who basically just was trying to sell weed while being addicted to weed, which was weird. Craig, which was the main character, he was like funny enough the straight guy, he got fired on his day off. And then Debo, everyone should remember Debo, the bully of the film. It was one of those feel good movies, pretty much characteristics of the 90s, right? And it was a lighter movie than Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, and it was trying to show that in the hood people could laugh, people could have fun. But what was impressive to me was that they developed these female characters, which after a while you kind of figured out what each character represented, and it's kind of a way in which people look at black women. Now, let's talk about Nia Long's character. Now, she is beautiful. She was idolized in this film. This film was trying to show her as the standard of beauty. No doubt about it. She was like, they had a song they played while she was jogging. I mean, even at my age back then in 1996 when I first watched the movie, I was falling in love with her. They played a song. Now, this is the type of packaging and promotion that I want to see more black women get. When I go back to that film, she was the it girl. She was the love interest. Like, let's do that again. Now, in terms of education level, she was middle of the road, I think. Income low, because they're all low income. But in terms of character traits, they built her with all the positive character traits. She was taking care of her sister. She really looked out for Craig. And you could see that she was a really nice person. So, in closing, as we close this off, you can see these characters that were built up. The one that I wanted to focus on a lot is Nia Long's character. Nia Long's character, that character, the it girl, we need more of that. We need more dark-skinned women. And some people may argue that Nia Long is not dark-skinned. To me, she is, but we can just say we need more of these characters being promoted. That love interest, that lovely song playing, while they jog, that focus on how nice she is, how conscientious she is. I don't mind, Regina Hall's character. I like her. I just wish she was a little kinder. But she was, oh my God, we need more beautiful women like that in movies. I just wanted to go back to it, that because this template, let's see how much more it is done in other comedies. Because I don't think this template and these character types are not replicated across. So it was very interesting. And so I know there's a bit of generalization, but let's look at each character. So let's start with, and I'm going to rank them. I have a scale, their attractiveness, their income level, education, and then their character traits, which resourcefulness, integrity, loyalty, conscientiousness. I like to put it there. I did another video where I ranked men like that, but let's look at it. Now, let's start with Mrs. Parker. Very funny, very comedic. She had a husband who she was unfaithful to, and let's remember Bernie Mac. Rest in peace, Bernie Mac. He was, the ghetto pastor. It was very hilarious. But Mrs. Parker comes in as the lowest ranked, and here's the thing: she's very attractive. There's no doubt about it. Her weight is mid-range. You know what black men call thick, and that us black men call thick. I assumed for education level that, probably she has a high school diploma. And also for income, I put 0 because she's a homemaker. But what she lacks is loyalty and conscientiousness. She really scores low on that because, loyalty in the sense that she's unfaithful to her husband, and lack of conscientiousness because I think she's out into the community, dressed in such a provocative way to attract others, and you could see that throughout the film that she's a negative character. So I rank her the lowest. Then let's look at Felicia. Now, popular in culture now is Bi Felicia. Now, Felicia was a drug addict, a crackhead to be specific. Now, In terms of weight, Felicia was light, and her attractiveness, I think Felicia cleaned up, is a very pretty woman. And that, no education, no income level, I assume that. And then resourcefulness, integrity, I put it on the minus because I think she borrows stuff and doesn't return them. And conscientiousness, I put her as a, as a kind of like a minus one. So I put her as one of those characters which you would not want to be involved with her. I think definitely a woman like this is pretty, but until she resolves these drug issues, there's going to be a lot of trouble. So I put her there, and it's strange that they put this woman in there, because during the crack epidemic in the 80s and early 90s, this was a known trope of black women, and there were a segment of black women who were addicted to drugs. Then I like this character, Joanne. Now, Joanne is Smokey's mother, and Smokey's mother, she was just a comic relief character. Like, definitely, I think, bigger than anything else, I think this is the woman and the character that a lot of black men try to place black women in. She's lazy, she's unattractive, she has very little education, she's probably on welfare, some welfare of some, and resourcefulness, she lacks resourcefulness, and she lacks conscientiousness. Integrity and loyalty, I didn't want to put anything there for her because I don't know, and she only had one child that I saw in there, which was Smokey. And integrity, I can't say if she doesn't have integrity or not, but definitely this is the single mother trope, and this is the one with not such a great character, and somehow you could see in Smokey, he didn't like his mother. His mother was an annoyance to him. She sent him to the store with $1 to buy cigarettes, which was lacking, and this is a negative trope for black women. Then we go to Joy. Now, Joy is funny because Joy is strange in the sense that she's Craig's girlfriend. His mother says she's a bit fast, and they had a bit of a soundtrack part when she came in, and it was she was what we consider today and we call the ratchet, and so therefore she was that character in the film that, yes, she dressed provocatively, but her attractiveness was average, and so I placed it there. And I assumed that she had a high school education and she was gainfully employed because she was actually contemplating giving Craig money to help him out of the situation. Loyalty, definitely not loyal. She's there talking to Craig while another man is in the bed, so that couldn't be it. And conscientiousness, you could see where she was a bit rude to others. I saw it with Smokey. So this is our ratchet character, and this is a trope that we do see put in films from time to time. Next is Debbie. Now, Debbie, this is a single woman. She's obese. She's not only overweight, she's obese. And she is doing catfishing before the term catfishing was even developed. And so she tells Smokey that she looks like Janet Jackson. And it's so funny, if you watch Poetic Justice, she actually has on the hat and the braids that would be from Poetic Justice that Janet Jackson wore. Then he said, no, she looks more like Freddie Jackson. You'd have to be in the 90s to know who Freddie Jackson is, early 90s. And so it was a funny joke, she looks more like Freddie Jackson than Janet Jackson. Now, attractiveness, very low. I put actually 0 for weight because, she's not only high weight, she's obese, right? And this woman put in there, she was also putting comic relief. Now, let's look at it from step back a little. We have a fat woman placed in the show or the movie for comic relief. It does reveal to you what the pecking order is and how we think of things. If you compare her to Mrs. Parker is what we call thick, and Debbie is obese, and Smokey wanted nothing to do with her. Nothing at all. And if you look at her stomach, it looks like it's forming an apron, over her. So let's focus on this, because this is what the filmmaker is trying to push across with this character, right? Then we go to Betty Jones. Now, Betty Jones is Craig's mother. Now, it's funny part, and I always remember the funny scene with her. She's making breakfast, and Craig thinks that she's making breakfast for him, but she actually makes it for herself. And one of the things that I didn't like in the movie was that when Craig was in his jam, he needed $200. She did not give him $200, and not that you should be supporting, but some people may say she, in the sense that she was, trying to get her son to be independent, but she didn't really talk to him to find out what impending danger he had. Now, in terms of, physical attributes, she's a pretty woman. I think average pretty woman. Weight, of course, high, and I assume she has high school education and income and all of that. But conscientiousness, I gave her a -1 because of the fact that she didn't talk a bit more to Craig to find out what was happening. But she is a stable character in there. She's married to her husband for years, and they have provided a stable home for their children. Then we go to Dana Jones. Now, can I say, if you watched 227 back in the early 90s, to see this young lady grow up to be this beautiful, can I say she's beautiful? I had to put a few hearts there. What a beautiful woman. I think her name is, if I get it wrong, I think it's Regina Hall. Maybe I am right. Very beautiful. And so I give her high on the attractiveness. She seems to have a decent education, average. Income doesn't seem high because she's younger, conscientious. Now, this woman is the type of woman that really is attractive. I just wish she was a bit more conscientious as it related to Craig when he was asking her for money. She just, straight off said no. If she hadn't done that, had been more generous or just asked him more what was happening, I'd have given her, that she'd have a positive on the character side. So just a quick chat on this. I hope you guys have a good day. I might review other movies that I like, and if you get to know me more, you'll see that I really like Boys in the Hood, Baby Boy. They're negative movies, but I think they teach us a lot, and I think that John Singleton is a genius. But let's leave it today at this, and then next video we can look a little bit more. Probably we go to Boys in the Hood. It's a sad movie to go through, but I think that it's a movie that should be covered because I see it replicated today on the streets in each hood. Thank you guys. Have a good day.